Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Today I'm just going to do a bit of an update around the farm. I'll show you guys what we got going on, do a bit of an update on how calving season's going, show you around. So hope you stick around and see what we got going on around here. Basically, you can see behind me what's left in that big white tarp there is what's left from our silage harvest last year. We actually ended up with a really good crop, so that's what we got left, along with the sorghum and hay bales we have left. We're in good shape to get through the next month or so until we can get all the rest of our cows back out on pasture, allow that pasture to grow up a bit, but before we throw that herd on it and start attacking it. So happy with that. And we're actually going to be putting our corn in these two front fields this year. It's actually been really wet the last couple weeks, and we've been getting a lot of rain, which is making it hard to get out onto the fields. The two front fields, these are the two front fields at the front of our farm in front of the road here. And this year we will be getting to put it into silage corn, which is always nice because just behind us is the silage pile that we feed the cows through the winter. So it's always nice when you can have the corn so close to the silage pile. So in the fall time, we won't have to spend a lot of time on transportation. Now obviously it'd be nice to have these fields right here and corn every year. It's what we feed the cows, but during the winter, but obviously you just can't plant the same thing in the same field every year. You gotta rotate the crops and put different crops in, so you know, they're not using all the same nutrients out of the soil every year, so that you know, you can put some different crops in and they'll grow good. And also for insects, if you keep putting the same crop in every year, that'll encourage the insects that like those plants to hang around. So break it up and don't run into problems. Well, I'd say it's suffice to say that Dad's stuck with a pretty crappy job today. What are you up to, buddy? Well guys, they're definitely adding up now. I think we're at about 30 now, and we're expecting 45 to 50. 50 would be real nice. We have about 50 cows, but you never, with calving, you never end up going through the whole season without losing at least a couple. But then again, sometimes you'll end up getting twins. So, you know, 50 cows, if you could get 50 calves, that'd be a real good number for us. Some of the older calves that have been around for a while, they're moved down here now. The younger one's still up at the barn. Well, I thought I'd come back and see how the bulls are making out this time of year, between when our cows start having their calves and when we get them back out on pasture coming up in about a month or so. That's the time of year where the bulls get kind of separated, put on their own, and believe me, they're not too happy about it for a while when you first separate them, but they settle in after a while, and they'll be quite happy once they get back in with the cows on pasture again. But for the time being, they're back here, and you can see we have a separate feeder set up for them, and they're not around it, which tells me that you can see the pasture back here, it's starting to really green up. So once that happens, the bulls forget about their feeder and they just go out, start eating pasture. So I might have a little bit of a gander around, see if I can find them, see what they're up to. They shouldn't have gone too far, but this is the time of year where, you know, we like to just check up on them, because none of the cows have been out on pasture all year, so we like to go around before that happens and check all the fences, you know, just to make sure they're all still upstanding, secure, there's no trees that have fallen down on them or anything. We like to do that before we put the cows back out on pasture, because it's not fun when you have a herd of cows out on the road or on somebody else's property, that's for sure. So nice to make sure your fences are all safe and sound before you put the cows back out on pasture. Well, I came back as far as I could go in the one direction and no sign of the bulls so far. So I'm thinking they must have headed up in the opposite direction that I headed. I don't think there's much chance they're in the woods here because there's not much for them in there. So I'll have to head back up in the opposite direction, see if I can find them up there. But in the meantime, I thought I'd just stop and check out the rye that Dad planted last fall. It's been coming up here for a while now, so that's looking pretty good, encouraging. It's always one of my favorite times of year when stuff starts growing and getting green again. It kind of gives you an optimistic feeling after going through a long winter when everything's no green, it's just all white and frozen. So spirits are up. Looks like I caught him just in time. I forget whose video it was, but I saw someone else make a video. It was showing a manure spreader on it, and one of the comments said it's the one piece of machinery that the dealership won't stand behind. And I thought that was a pretty funny comment, so thought I'd share that one with you guys. Well, there's why I couldn't find the bulls. They're all right up to the front here, right against the fence where the cows are, which kind of makes sense. But when you're looking at it from the other side, I was looking at it from the other side through the barn yard, and they kind of just mix in with the other cows. Didn't even realize they were out there. So this field here goes all the way around back to where I was before, and they're all the way up here, right up as close into that corner as they can get, as close to the cows as they can get. But that's the 3 bulls, and now that they're not so worried about being back at their feeder, they can eat all this pasture out here. They guess spend the rest of their time just hanging out as close to the cows as they possibly can. One of the short-term projects I have in mind for around here is building some new entrance posts coming in. You can see behind me there's the one white one here, and there's one on the other side of the driveway. Now that I have my own sawmill, there's really no excuse. We have a lot of cedar on the farm too, so that's ideal. We can build some nice new cedar posts to go in here. These white ones are old, they're dilapidated. They've been here long since before I was born, I think, and I think they've had their day in the sun, so to speak. So that's going to be one of the things coming up for me, is getting these pulled out of here and just getting something nice, solid, clean, new in there, and just get it cleaned up a little bit. These are 2 apple trees I planted a couple years ago, that one there and that one there. It's definitely a long-term goal because I never really knew much about apple trees, but obviously they take a while to grow, so hopefully one of these years they'll start getting a bit bigger and actually I'll start getting some apples off them. But they seem to be doing pretty good, I think. And I don't know much about them, like I was saying, but they're a hybrid tree. So the nursery, what they have done is splice different branches onto the trees, and so when they do start producing apples, each branch will give off a different kind of apple. So that should be kind of interesting. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for, you know, the quality and all that kind of stuff, but that's what they had when I went to the store. So I grabbed a couple of them and threw them in the ground, and they're slowly but surely growing a bit bigger each year. So like I said, hopefully in a few years I'll have a couple nice apple trees here. Well, we checked up on the calves. We have about 30 out of approximately 50 that we're hoping for, so we're comfortably past the halfway point now. This calving season's drug out a little bit longer than usual, but what do you do? Normally we like to have it a bit more compacted, but that's just the way it's working out this year. About another month or so we'll be getting the cows and the calves out on pasture. That's always a fun day, seeing them get back out onto pasture for the first time in the year. They get pretty excited. Checked up on the bulls. They're up at the front, so they're doing good. Nothing to worry about there. Dad's getting some manure spread, fertilizing those fields, so hopefully we can get back out there and get some stuff planted here soon. I'm really looking forward to that. As I was saying before, really like this time of year. Everything starts growing again, so hopefully we can get some crops in the ground here soon, sooner rather than later. And just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on the goings-ons around the farm as of right now. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching.